Rain continuing to fall in Madison, Wisconsin as we get closer to kickoff. Rutgers and the Badgers meeting in Madison for the first time. The head coaches meeting for the first time as well in Madison, Wisconsin. Alongside Matt Millen, I'm Kevin Kugler. Let's welcome in the third member of our crew, Lisa Byington.
Kevin, a few updates, a few personnel updates on the Wisconsin side. First, with Wisconsin quarterback Joel Stave, he will get the start today after missing 3 quarters last week against Illinois with a head injury. The Wisconsin coaching staff telling us that he had a normal week of preparation outside of Tuesday's practice. That cannot be said for Stave's teammates. A handful of them missing this game and at a different status level from last week. We start in the linebacking core with Chris Orr. Inside linebacker Chris Orr out with a leg infection that puts sophomore Jack Sitchie in his spot. Add to the list wide receiver Robert Wheelwright out with the leg injury. Center Dan Volz completely done for the year with a knee injury, as well as defensive end Arthur Goldberg will miss his 2nd straight game, Kevin. So the next man up mentality again for Wisconsin today.
Well, that's the case as it has been all year long for the Badgers. The Badgers are going to get the football first. Rutgers won the toss. They elect to defer, and the kickoff going out of bounds. And so a rough start on special teams for Rutgers.
Free kick out of bounds. Ball placed at the 35-yard line.
And so it'll be a first down for Joel Stave, who before the injury was coming off back-to-back 300-yard passing games, and that record of 27-9 as a starter, the 3rd most wins among active FBS quarterbacks. That's pretty elite company for Joel Stave.
Yeah, look at the guys he's behind. And Connor Cook and Hogan out at Stanford. Those guys are throwing the ball all over the place.
Ogunbowale starts at running back. First down at the 35-yard line. Jazz Peavy gets the nod. He's the receiver to the bottom of the screen. Erickson in motion. Ogunbowale with the carry. Got a good block and has some running room. Nice cutback, and he's down near the Rutgers 40-yard line. The good block from starting center Michael Dieter, who took over for Dan Volz, and he sprung him on the edge.
Yeah, and so you see what they're doing at the line of scrimmage, and they're moving people back and forth, and they're trying to manipulate the second level of Rutgers, and they're able to get it done. That corner comes up. Ogunbowale cuts back down inside of him and makes a big play. Ogunbowale, from a month ago, is a completely different player than he is right now. This kid has really matured into a fine running back.
He gets the carry again on first down, caught in the backfield and dropped back at the line of scrimmage. That was Sebastian Joseph who got there first and snuck in from behind to pull him down.
Sebastian Joseph makes a pretty good player. It's like he's a Pennsylvania kid. Sebastian Joseph, I'm not sure. I think he's from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania.
You are correct.
Right up the road from me. I'll have to look him up when I'm home.
Is that a threat or a promise?
I think that's a threat, but he comes to play each and every week. He has had himself a pretty good year here.
Second down and 10 at the 41. And the play clock was winding down, and Joel Stave has to take the first Badger timeout. 13:44 remaining in this first quarter, and the first timeout used by the Badgers. As we take a look at today's Auto Owners Insurance Impact players, and for the Badgers, when you're looking, Matt, at the impact that these guys are going to have on the offensive side of the football, it's a pretty good place to start with Alex Erickson.
Well, Erickson has been, last week he was a star. I mean, they needed somebody to make a play. Erickson did it. He's the guy you can count on all the time. Rutgers defensively, Steve Long is extremely active. That guy is always around the football. And Kamoka Ture, when it comes time for passing situations, he's got what it takes to be able to rush the passer. I'm anxious to watch him again. Good football player.
Second down and 10 at the 41. And early movement from Troy Fumagalli.
Ball start, offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. Remains second down.
Well, they're thin at tight end, too, because there's been injuries aplenty there. No Eric Steffes today either for Wisconsin at the tight end spot.
I was talking to Coach Paul Chryst yesterday, and we were talking about his depth or the lack of it. And I was like, okay, Fumagalli goes down. What do you got? He goes, we don't have one. There's nobody. Like, what do you mean nobody? He's like, we don't have one. We're going to have to use maybe Watt or somebody like that.
Yeah, you rarely hear a coach say, yeah, we're out at that position. 2nd and 15. Stabby to throw. Open, and a catch is made by Jordan Frederick, backing up at the 27. It's a first down.
Nicely protected. Stave knows he's going to take a hit, but he stands in there. And this is the difference between the Joel Stave of this year and last year. His eyes are downfield. Frederick runs a nice route, just stays on top. It's a hole in between the top of the coverage and below. Ball's right where it needs to be.
First down at the 27-yard line. Watt and Ogunbowale in the backfield. That's Peavy in motion. Ogunbowale with the carry, trying to reverse his field and just jitterbugging down to the 25-yard line, picks up a pair.
You know, you and I were talking a little earlier about Ogunbowale and the difference you could see in him. And so if you're sitting at home and say, oh, what is the difference? And it's not anything that's like just glaring, but it's his ability to be able to have some patience. Its ability to be able to let things develop in front of him. It's the same things that Corey Clement, who just came in the game, has naturally.
And Corey Clement back for the first time since week 1 against Alabama. Badger fans have been waiting for him to return. And they'll have to wait a little bit longer. Movement on the outside.
False start, offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
That's 2 on Fumagalli.
That's his quota. He's done. Can't have any more.
Although when there's nobody behind you at tight end, I guess you feel a little comfortable.
You're feeling pretty good about yourself. Yeah, so they're going to go with a different play. My guess is Clement was going to be handed the ball. They had the look they wanted, the same thing that Ogunbowale had on the very first play.
So Clement is out for the moment again. Ogunbowale in the backfield, and he's buried by a host of Scarlet Knights. Dewani Mera, the first one there for Rutgers, back near the 32-yard line, a loss of 2.
Not real sharp here to start this day for this Wisconsin Badger offense. This time you see they're not smooth on the handoff. They've had a couple of offsides penalties, and they've just not been 100% in sync.
Any of that at all have to do with the weather? Rain?
No, the offside had nothing to do with it. And that one right there is
that may have?
Yeah.
3rd and 15 at the 32. Stave takes a big hit again as he airs it down the sideline. The pass is incomplete. Looking for Tanner McAvoy, and that pop came from Julian Penix-Odrick. What a hit he took as he delivered that football.
Yeah, that's the second time that they've been able to get inside. Now, Odrick, they came on a stunt, and they worked that thing around. That's called an exit, and your defensive end's coming around. Defensive tackle kind of opens it up. Odrick came full speed. To Stavi's credit, now he stayed right in there and delivered the ball.
Gaglianone on for a 50-yard field goal try. His long this year is 46. His long last year was 51. From 50, good snap, good hold, the kick right down the middle. And a 50-yarder for Rafael Gaglianone, and a 3-0 Wisconsin lead. Big leg from the sophomore kicker, and it gives the Badgers the 3-0 lead. Yeah, he's fired up. What a start for the young Brazilian. One of our cameramen, Mark Garza, decided to take fate into his hands last night. He tested his courage at a local Wisconsin haunted establishment, Screamin' Acres. Needless to say, the results were ghoulish.
I took my kids to one of those one time.
This Mark, who has barely survived the trauma of last night.
I took my kids to one of those things when they were young.
Yeah.
My youngest guy was about 7 years old. They came out and scared him.
And never had to go again?
He turned and punched that guy right square where you shouldn't punch a man. And needless to say, I got in trouble. Like, control your kids.
Jack Russell with the kickoff from the 4-yard line. Trying to find some room to roam, but excellent coverage by the Badgers. Justin Goodwin had very little room on the return. Jack Cichy in there on the stop. And here comes Chris Laviano, who leads the Big Ten in completion percentage this year. But as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Matt, he comes out without the benefit of one of the best receivers, maybe the best receiver in the conference in Leonte Carroo.
He is. Leonte Carroo is a fantastic, talented kid. But they're going to be without him. And so more pressure on Laviano. The good news for Laviano is he has the skill set to be able to handle this. He gets rid of the ball really fast.
On first down, Paul James the carry, slips through a crease, nice little spin, and he picks up 6 to the 20-yard line as we take a look at today's Auto Owners Insurance impact players when Rutgers is on offense.
Well, if you want to start talking about who's having an impact, Leonte Carroo, the fact that he's not playing is extremely impactful for this Rutgers offense. They have to fill that void. On the other side, Schobert and Beagle, they've been the story all season long for this defensive front, and they'll continue to be it today.
Now, talking earlier in the week with Ben McDaniels, the offensive coordinator of Rutgers, he's well aware of those guys. Anybody who watches Wisconsin film sees them right away.
Yeah.
On second down and the incomplete screen, looking for Paul James on the edge, and it brings up third down.
I mentioned about how quickly they get rid of the ball, and Laviano gets rid of the ball exceptionally fast. Sometimes it's catch, step, throw. And so consequently, there's a lot of short passes. One of the things you want to see is if it's that fast, is it backwards? It looked to me like that was a backward pass.
Should have been out of bounds.
Should have been out of bounds.
Instead, they put it back at the 20-yard line, third down and 4. Laviano off the mark again, looking for Goodwin.
They came with a blitz, and they were anticipating. So this is what happens. Now, Leonte Carroo's out of the game, and so Dave Aranda, the defensive coordinator, he knows they have nothing down the field. And so their game now is going to have to be short the whole time. So they bring a blitz off the edge, they tighten it, and you get the little old alligator arms in there, expecting you're going to get whacked.
Joey Roth will punt. Alex Erickson waiting at the 40-yard line. That punt not going anywhere. Rutgers not going to get anything out of that, as it'll be down at the Scarlet Knights' 41-yard line. Roth averaging over 40 yards per punt. That one goes 21. All around ugly start for Rutgers. They trail 3-0. Kyle Flood on the sidelines for Rutgers. Paul Christ running the show for the Wisconsin Badgers as we welcome you back to Camp Randall Stadium. 3-0 Wisconsin with the lead, 10:26 remaining in the first. And as the Badgers start with excellent field position at the Rutgers 41, Joel Stavi's going to have Corey Clement in his backfield. Now, Clement's been out there once, but there was a false start, and then he went back to the sidelines. He has not carried since the first game of the season. Stavi looking deep down the sideline for Erickson, who makes the catch and is out of bounds near the 15-yard line.
Did I mention to you about Alex Erickson?
I've heard things.
How good of a player he is. Yeah, Alex Erickson reminds me of Steve Largent. I said that a week ago. And so those of you sitting at home say, who the heck is Steve Largent? He's a Hall of Fame player. He used to play for the Seattle Seahawks. And he has the same attribute. Erickson has the same attributes as him. And what that is his ability to get in and out of his breaks effortlessly. It almost looks like he doesn't do anything. That's how smooth he is. He's really talented.
On first down, there's Clement's first carry, and Clement works his way down to the 11-yard line. Quan Lewis on the stop, and the crowd recognizing Corey Clement's first carry since Alabama, and happy to have him back in the backfield.
Remember, just a year ago, Corey Clement was the guy behind Melvin Gordon, and everybody was saying, man, Clement's having a phenomenal year. If we gave him the ball all the time, he'd have close to 2,000 yards as well. And he had almost 1,000 a year ago. This year, it just, only eight carries. That's his 9th carry of the season.
949 yards and 9 touchdowns behind Melvin Gordon a year ago. 2nd and 8 at the 12. Clement again. Nice little cut back into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's what this Wisconsin team had been wanting to see all season long. They got Corey Clement back, and he delivered on his second carry.
Getting a little coaching for the flag that you see on the top left of your screen. That flag is going to be for the celebration after the touchdown.
The play was a touchdown. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 6, offense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. That's number 6, first unsportsmanlike penalty.
And why that's significant, the next one, he's gone.
Gaglianone on for the extra point. High snap, got the hold down, and the kick is good. And a 10-0 Badger lead. And Corey Clement had been waiting a long time to get back on the field, and he gets back into the end zone very quickly. For Corey Clement, his first touchdown of the year, even though it cost him 15 yards.
Corey Clement on this Halloween Eve or Halloween weekend comes through with a touchdown. You always get by with a little help from your friends. These are going to be the 2 defenders that are not accounted for. Everybody else inside, Watt 34, Fumagalli 81, see Benshaw 66. They are assignment perfect. The 2 defenders who aren't there take themselves out of the play, and it's 6 quick. Really easy when you get some help from your guys up front. Well blocked.
Now remember the penalty on the touchdown. Remember that Wisconsin is using its backup kickoff guy in Jack Russell instead of Andrew Endicott, who got hurt a couple of weeks ago. So Rutgers should have decent field position. Janarian Grant from the 20-yard line. Grant, an explosive returner, out across the 40 and down to the 42 as we check in for the first time in Chicago in a T-Mobile studio update.
Hey, Kevin, Matt, one thing Nebraska's done well this year is run defense, top 10 in the country. Not on this play. Purdue's quarterback David Blau with a 56-yard scamper for the score, and it's 7-3 Purdue later in the first.
Oh boy, Mike, thank you very much. That will increase the angst around Nebraska fans early. 10-0 for Wisconsin here as Rutgers goes back to work. And on first down, looking for a little running room is Josh Hicks, and Hicks will take it to the 45. You'll hear a lot of names called today at the running back spot. Rutgers rotates 4 guys through there.
Yeah, and that kind of surprises me. You know, and usually it goes back to the old rule, because if you have one, you run with them. If you don't have one, you try to find one. And so they have been doing it, just running them through. And Hicks has been productive, as has James. But there's some guys, but they need that horse.
Hicks again, the lone setback on 2nd down and 7 at the 45.
See how they're playing nice, tight coverage outside? It's because they know the ball, when it's thrown, comes out tight. I mean, fast, rather.
Nice run by Hicks. He gets the first down as we check in for an update on Leonte Carroo with Lisa Byington.
Yeah, Kevin, I was actually able to talk to him a little bit in the pregame. Obviously very frustrated, not able to suit up and play here today. He said he didn't practice all week. Maybe went through a couple workouts on the bike, the stationary bike, but that was really all he was able to do, battling that ankle injury. But he said, hey, look, I'm a captain. I have to be out here on the sideline and be with my teammates in some way or another.
And he's a talent, too. 24 catches, 527 yards, and 9 touchdowns as Hicks finds a little running room again down to the 40-yard line. A 6-yard pickup for Josh Hicks, who's chewing up some good yardage against an excellent run defense in Wisconsin. Jack Sitchie on the stop. Yeah, well, what they do a nice job of this Rutgers offense is they create angles inside for their linemen. And so this is a big offensive line. You got Lumpkin outside, you got Miller, Nelson, and Muller inside, and Denman on the right side, right across the board. This offense is predicated on getting good angles, and so far they've been doing that. 2nd and 4 at the 40-yard line. Hicks again. trying to get to the edge, cuts it up, but he's got the first down to the 35. When you say creating angles
yep,
for the
inside.
linemen, explain to people what you're talking about.
Okay, so a lot of times right now in today's football, everybody's talking about zone blocking, and that's just like one step in. Whoever comes into your area, you block. What Rutgers does a little bit differently is they will take their guard and tackle and cross them. And so they'll take the guard, he'll go first, the tackle will take a step back, and they're creating angles inside to get a better position on them to be able to make the block. Well, it shows, I'll show it to you when we come up.
From the 35, Hicks again, 5th carry of the drive, and Hicks showing some power, working his way down near the 26-yard line. Michael Caputo finally able to get the stop, but that's a good, strong run again for Hicks.
And this was Hicks' eyes. And so this was just straight power blocking on the front end. No angles involved. You're just getting assignment football. And then Hicks just using the patience and his eyes and running through some blocks to set up this 2nd and short.
Ran right through Darius Hillary as well. 2nd and 1 at the 26-yard line. There's Hicks again on the counter. Got a block. Got the edge. And Hicks knocked out of bounds at the 18 by Tanner McAvoy. Let's check back in with Mike Hall for another T-Mobile studio update.
And another early score. Christian Hackenberg needs 3 touchdown passes for the record for most in a Penn State career. He's got one to Chris Godwin. Extra point was blocked, which is happening a lot these days. It's 6-0 Nittany Lions.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. Hicks has been the man so far on this drive for Rutgers. He'll get the carry again right up the middle, and Hicks down to the 15-yard line. Ben McDaniels wanted to win the physical part of the game. He said, we'll win if we win that physical part.
Yeah, and he's going to show you exactly, I'm going to show you exactly what the physical part is. So what they're doing right now, go ahead and run it, guys, is they're just going man to man. They're not doing any angles at all. This is inside, it's just power football. It's just assignment football straight ahead. We're the tougher guys, we're the low man, we're going to win. Right now, that's working.
Robert Martin now in at running back for Rutgers, giving Hicks a spell. And Martin gets the carry. Martin trying to get to the edge, and Hillary with a good tackle there at the 13-yard line. Just a 2-yard gain for Robert Martin. And it brings up a big 3rd down here for Rutgers. 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, and so, but they're in a good spot. They're a good spot because they could use the legs of the quarterback. It's still a down within 5 yards. If they want to run, they can. And it is conducive to their short passing game. So expect right now this defense of Wisconsin to tighten the coverage, which you're seeing right now. And they're offsetting this with, they're loading the box is what they're doing.
On 3rd down,
counter.
Goodwin on the counter, trying to fight his way through the tackle. Look at Goodwin dragging Hillary with him for the 1st down. Down to the 6-yard line.
That's a counter play. And that involves some angles, but at the end, it just involved pure power by Godwin to be able to do it. Watch him finish this run. He wants to put his head down and just drive the feet. That is excellent by Goodwin.
This is the 10th play of the drive, and it's all been on the ground.
It's been all muscle as well up front. Very little angle stuff inside, a couple of counters, but most of the time just assignment, low man wins, drive it, power football.
1st and goal at the 6-yard line. Hicks the carry again, and Hicks upended just across the 5 down to the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. One thing that Rutgers coaches told us earlier in the week is they watched that Iowa film, Iowa and Wisconsin, and they said, look, Iowa was very patient with the run game. We think we can do similar things with our run game. We're seeing it on this drive.
It's exactly what you're saying. And what that does is it gives you confidence. And when your offensive line has confidence, like, look, let's run this thing. Let's continue to pound this thing. That goes a long way.
2nd and goal at the 4. Rutgers down 10-0, but threatening here. Laviano to the air for the 1st time to the end zone, and it's knocked away from Andre Patton. Darius Hillary got the hand in there to swat it away, and it's 3rd down.
Waited a little bit too long. Yeah, because Patton comes and he's open, and Hillary does a nice job of closing. See, he buys time. But that ball, he hung it a little bit too much. If he throws it sooner and puts it on a line, that's 6 points. Instead, you've got third down.
Third and goal at the 4. Hicks again. Hicks not going to get there. Caught from behind by Vince Beagle, the first guy to wrap him up.
But a nice job on the front side to turn it back in. They were not able to get to the edge. Again, they pulled the backside guard to try to get around, and they just closed that thing down. I couldn't see if it was Schobert or not, but he didn't allow anybody to get to the edge. Beagle's able to make the play.
And now Kyle Federico on to try a 21-yard field goal. Last year inside the 40, he was 11 for 12. This year he's 5 for 7 overall. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities. This from 21. And Rutgers is on the board, trailing now 10-3 with 2:19 to play in the first.
Yeah, you got to have a big play. Your big play guys have to get it. And that's Vince Beagle, and he was all about it.
Kevin Kugler alongside Matt Millen with Lisa Byington down on the field in the rain. It's a little cool in our booth, but it's dry.
It's a little nippy. I'm kind of chilly up here. We should probably tell Lisa.
Yeah, she's expressed.
Can you turn that heat up?
Yeah, she's expressed great amounts of concern for our well-being over the course of the year, even on nice days. I'm sure today she's very concerned. Wisconsin awaiting the kickoff after an impressive drive by Rutgers, but Wisconsin's defense stiffened inside the 5 and held the Scarlet Knights to just a field goal. Short kickoff.
Mistake.
Bobbled and just covered up at the 21-yard line, or is it? That ball caromed loose after the first contact. Wisconsin ran up on it, and it will be Badger football. So Wisconsin able to maintain the possession on the short kickoff. Well, we're almost through this first quarter, Matt Millen, and it's been an interesting quarter. We've seen Rutgers do a Wisconsin impersonation and run the ball, and we've seen Wisconsin do what it does.
But smart by Rutgers, because they know Wisconsin defensively, they're down a few people, and so they're testing them, and they're testing them early, and they've had success in the run game. I expect they'll continue with it.
And on first down, not much running room there for Alec Ingold as he gets yardage out near the 28-yard line. Maybe a yard and a half, and that's about all for Ingold. We've seen the return of Corey Clement. If you're joining us late, he's got the Wisconsin touchdown on the day. Now it's Dare Ogunbowale in the backfield. Stavi to throw over the middle, and it's incomplete as we check back in Chicago and another T-Mobile studio update.
Kev, a lot's happening in State College. An interception led to this great catch from Geno Lewis, but believe it or not, the extra point was blocked again. That's back-to-back by the Illini, so it's only 12-0 Penn State.
Boy, how often do you see back-to-back blocked extra points?
Yeah, you don't.
Barely you do in the Illinois-Penn State game today.
It's a good defensive front Penn State's playing against. It looks like Hackenberg's got his game back together.
Third down and 9 for Wisconsin at the 27-yard line. Stavi with pressure coming, floats it for Erickson, and the pass is incomplete. Crowd wanted a flag on Quentin Gauze, who didn't turn around, but the ball skips short, and it's fourth down.
And that was good coverage all the way through, and they're going to try to find Erickson all game long. But the coverage was tight. Now, the one thing Erickson does is he's not going to just blow away with speed with you. But the protection was good, and you can see the underneath coverage was good all the way through.
Drew Meyer on the punt. Janarian Grant is the return man and is extremely dangerous in this role. Good punt by Meyer. Excellent kick, driving him all the way back to the 22-yard line. Grant, with flags all over the field, is down at the 31-yard line. A 49-yard punt And we'll see if the flags don't move Rutgers back from that 31-yard line.
Yeah, that was a block in the back. I mean, they all threw their handkerchiefs out immediately.
Illegal block in the back above the waist. Receiving team, number 9. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Now Rutgers will back it up. The battle in the Big Ten West is a battle that appears to be narrowing itself down to these two teams. Iowa has the win and the only loss for Wisconsin, so Wisconsin's got a tough road to climb, but the Iowa Hawkeyes with 5 games left, Rutgers with only 4 counting today.
And Iowa's starting to play their best football, and they are running the football. You saw Wadley last week having a big game. They've fought through injuries, but they have to find what they are, as has this Wisconsin team, but they continue to have more injuries. It's amazing how many these guys have gone through this year.
First down from the 18-yard line, and some movement going to push Rutgers back even more.
False start. False start, offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
That's J.J. Denman, first-year starter at right tackle. It's an offensive line that has 3 juniors, a sophomore, and a senior left tackle in Keith Lumpkin, but of those experienced guys, only 2 are returning starters from a year ago. First and 15 at the 13-yard line. Martin, not much room. A yard, if that, to the 14-yard line. Driven back by a host of Badgers. Chikwe Obasi was in there to help make the stop.
Yeah, Obasi was on the inside, but the inside people can make that because of the play of this man right here. And that's Vince Biegel. And his job right now is to keep everything inside of him. And so you see that pulling guard, and he takes it on, forces it back inside, and when that happens, the rest of your defense can make the play. Well done.
Now 2nd and 14. Remember, no Leonte Carew to help in the receiving game. They'll set up the screen to Grant. Grant trying to get to the edge. And Grant spins down at the 19-yard line in the arms of Jack Sitchie, who's got a tough role today, moving from outside to inside for the injured Chris Orr.
Yeah, but so if you take a look at his balance sheet and you say, okay, we're going to move him to the inside, what does he bring us? He brings us extra speed. And so that's what you like to see. Sitchie's a good heady player, and he's going to have to be for this upcoming 3rd down.
And that 3rd down will happen after the quarter comes to an end. 10-3 Badgers. BTN football on Halloween, Rutgers and Wisconsin. Polka dots, well known as one of the scarier things that you'll ever see.
Especially when you're wearing them.
Exactly. 3rd down and 9 as we start this 2nd quarter for Rutgers from their own 19-yard line. Not a down and distance. They're feeling very comfortable in that.
Yeah, look at the tight coverage. I like that. They're going to make Laviano throw into really tight windows.
Pressure coming, throws. It is caught, and leaning towards the marker is Andre Patton, and he got the first down.
That's nice job by Ben McDaniels, the offensive coordinator. And so what he does is they know that they don't have guys. Leonte Carew's not on the field. You don't have that big play guy. So the first thing you have to be able to do is protect your quarterback, which they were able to do. And then, because they're getting tight coverage, you have to be able to find a way to back them off so he goes with that tight bunch. That's good coaching.
Pretty good protection, too. Beagle came in late, but Laviano had time to survey the situation. From the 29 on 1st down with a flag down. Martin the carry, and Martin struggles out near the 34-yard line. But that flag thrown on the near sideline before or as the play was snapped.
Remember, you got Chris Orr, who's out. Sitchie's taking his spot. And then on the defensive line, Goldberg is also out.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Back we go to Mike Hall in Chicago. Another T-Mobile studio update.
And more trouble for the Huskers. A Nebraska fumble led to this. Watch the top left corner. The cameraman got fooled by it, but it's a catch by Danny Anthrop on a 3rd and goal. Purdue is now up on Nebraska 14-3.
Oh boy, Purdue up 14-3 on Nebraska.
Darrell Hazel's group has not lost any fight. He keeps them going.
They've had close ones in conference. You think specifically of that Michigan State one. Maybe this is the day they break through. 1st and 15 for Rutgers after the penalty. Back at the 24-yard line. Martin with the carry again. And Martin on the right side showing some good power after contact. Takes it to the 28. Connor Sheehy there first to make the stop.
Sheehy and Schobert on that side. Schobert did a really good job. It's on the outside again, maintaining the edge and turning it back inside. But this Rutgers offensive line, and they've been pretty physical. They have not been afraid to go right at them and play tough-nosed football.
Wisconsin had only allowed 58 yards per game on the ground at home this year. Rutgers is already over that mark as Martin dances out to the right side to get to the 33. That's a 5-yard pickup for Robert Martin. Chikwe Obasi on the stop for Wisconsin, and now 3rd down and medium, 3rd and 7.
And so part of this offensive call again is going to have to be on the offensive coordinator in terms of getting them in the right spot, because I expect again to see nice tight coverage. Here they come out again in a bunch, this tight bunch at the lower part of your screen right down here. That's designed to get defenders off you. Inside, outside, high is the way you play them defensively, and here it is.
Pressure right up the middle. Laviano is sacked. Right up the gut came Vince Beagle, and he's got his 4th sack of the year.
They do a really nice job, does this defense, with Beagle in terms of how he gains ground while he's moving laterally. That's exactly what he does. Vince Beagle's right up inside here. They're showing a double-A gap blitz. This time, they just couldn't handle him. They had the back step up on him, and that was not a good effort there by Goodwin. Goodwin needed to stick his face right down the middle of that man, and he did.
Tough snap to handle for Roth Erickson from the 48-yard line with a little room to the edge. Erickson to the 40, and Erickson chased out of bounds near the Rutgers 35-yard line. Alex Erickson with a good return on the kick from Roth. Vance Matthews finally able to track him down, but the Badgers with an excellent place to start well into Rutgers territory.
Every time you watch this Wisconsin offense or special teams and something needs to get going, inevitably it comes back to Alex Erickson. Seems like he's got a hand in it all the time. And the truth be told right now, Corey Clement is a guy who you can rely on if that's going to be, if he's healthy, and the other guy is Erickson. Those are their 2 playmakers.
On 1st down and 10, Erickson and Peavy, the receivers, to the top of the screen. Ogunbowale with the carry, and he is wrapped up after a pickup of a yard down to the 33. And Matt Millen, you've got a little more on Alex Erickson.
Well, there's some things that you notice right away with Erickson. The first thing is he's obviously dependable, whether it's special teams or whether it's in the run game or the pass game. And what his great thing is, he gets in and out of his breaks exceptionally well. He's quicker than fast. He's fast enough, but his quickness is what sets him apart.
DJ Gillen's on the field right now. That's the 3rd quarterback, but they've got him in a wide receiver spot in the slot at the top of the screen is Fumagalli with the catch down to the 26-yard line. We were told yesterday by Wisconsin's coaching staff that we might see a little bit of DJ Gillen's in from a wide receiver standpoint today for the Badgers.
And Gillen's, he has that ability to be able to do that. But that also tells you that they're going through a lot of people. Paul Chryst has done a great job of, getting guys ready and getting them up and playing and then using them, and they do well.
3rd down and 2. That's Erickson in motion. Stabby to throw on 3rd and short. There's Erickson with a catch. The ball ripped out of his hands, and now they're going to say an incomplete pass.
That was good defense, because Erickson is right there. He's on top of it. Benshaw came up with the ball. If it would be a fumble.
Andre Hunt's the guy who ripped it out.
Yeah. Let's watch Erickson. Oh, that's good. That's good job by Hunt's. gets his hand on, just ripped right through it. Erickson normally sure-handed, but this is a good job of defense.
No question that was an incomplete pass in your mind?
Yeah, no, that's he never had control of it.
So now on 4th and 2, the Badgers, who are 3 for 4 on 4th down this year, are going to go for it. At the 26-yard line of Rutgers, leading 10-3. And flags and a little movement for Wisconsin.
Moved on the left side, inside.
False start, offense, number 75.
Yep.
5-yard penalty.
Good call.
Remains 4th down.
Micah Kapoy, little flinch early.
Little flinchage. Yeah, you're going to see him right here. And he knows something's happening because they're going to bring this stuff down inside. That's what he's anticipating. Just
a little shuffle before he got going.
A little bit too soon.
Still going to go for it, though, on 4th and 7.
Which means they're trusting their defense.
Peavy and Erickson are to the top of the screen. Tanner McAvoy to the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, but in the slot up top, that's Erickson.
Stabby over the middle. Erickson's got it. Slips through the tackle, and he's in for the touchdown.
In and out of those breaks, so nice. He's in the slot. He's a guy you can count on. The ball got ripped out the last time, but because he's dependable, you go right back to him. There's a missed tackle on the bottom, but it ends up being a run through.
Gaglianone on for the extra point. And a 17-3 lead. Badgers are now 4 for 5 this year on 4th down, and what a 4th down this was. Alex Erickson gets free again, and gets 6. Alex Erickson, all smiles on Halloween, up 17-3. Happy Halloween, everyone, from BTN. And John Pidgeon in the full spirit as he runs camera. I don't know how you can actually see anything with that mask on, but John's an immense talent. He can figure it out. Matt and I dressed up as announcers today. We think that's a stretch.
Here, here.
Short kickoff again for Grant at the 13-yard line. Janarian Grant slipping through a crease and is out near the 30-yard line as we go to Chicago. Another T-Mobile studio update.
Kev, Nebraska answers right away. Riker Fife in for the injured Tommy Armstrong, completes the pass. He's 9 of 11 in this game thus far. However, Kevin, Matt, I'm not kidding. It's another update and another extra point blocked. 14-9 Purdue.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. A 17-3 lead for Wisconsin. 10:22 remaining in the first half. Paul James back in at running back now for Rutgers. We've seen Martin, Hicks, Goodwin, and James today. And here's James with the carry. Got through the initial traffic and is down after a pickup of a couple to the 32-yard line.
So it's important for this Rutgers offense not to get behind the chains early. The last 2 series, they had those one offside and another penalty that put them first and 15, and they weren't able to recover on it.
Second down and 8. Again, James upended at the 34-yard line as we check in with Lisa Byington.
Kevin, this today is a reunion for Paul James and Corey Clement. They played at the same high school in New Jersey together. In 2011, they actually won a state championship together. Both were running backs on that team, and James told me they both were 1,000-yard rushers. And actually, James is really good friends with Corey's older brother, who was the quarterback on that state title team. Imagine the job that he had. Hey, let's hand off to one of the 2 running backs. It's pretty tough, huh?
Yeah, not bad.
That'd be a good problem to have.
One of the big reasons why Corey Clement wanted to be sure he played in this game was because the opponent was Rutgers, the Jersey connection. Laviano looking down the sideline for James, and it's intercepted off the deflection. Tanner McAvoy, look what I found as the ball bounces right up to him, and he picks it off on the sideline.
Yeah, but the whole key to that thing is not McAvoy, it's Joe Schobert. Joe Schobert made the play, McAvoy made the pick. Schobert had great coverage all the way down. They were going to try to get that down that right sideline, and Schobert right on his hip just falls off his head. That's a heads-up play right there. And McAvoy is where a safety should be. I mean, that's from the inside out. That's a big-time play.
Tanner McAvoy off the head of a teammate, tiptoes in to keep the pick. Wisconsin with a 17-3 lead, 8:55 remaining in the second quarter. The interception by Tanner McAvoy giving the Badgers the football back.
So the two things you have to be able to do, have control and have at least 1 foot in bounds. So he has control right there, and that left foot is clearly in bounds, and so that's the right call.
And from the 39-yard line, the Badgers will start Corey Clement back in, and Clement gets the carry, met in the backfield and dropped. It was Steve Longa who got in there first with the penetration to disrupt that run, a loss of 1.
Yeah, Longa is the man on the spot, but on the outside, that defensive end, I didn't quite catch the number, did a great job of closing that back inside so it couldn't expand. And so defensively, what you try to do is try to eliminate as much space as possible. And that defensive end did a great job of closing it down.
Kevin Kugler, Matt Millen, Lisa Byington from Camp Randall in Madison, Wisconsin. 17-3 Badgers on second down. Toss play Clement. Clement fighting his way up the hash and down near the 44-yard line. That's a 5-yard gain for Corey Clement on the play. So we've seen him carry a few times. Third down coming up. He's going to leave the field, but what do you expect here? Is this again where you look for number 86, who's had a big day so far with a couple of touchdowns?
If I were Rutgers defense, I would have my best cover person on Erickson all game long, no matter where he is. Now, he likes to be in the slot most of the time, but they move him all over. This time they have him on the outside.
The receiver at the top of your screen on third down. Stabby looking for him again. Instead goes to Fumagalli, and he's down at the 39 of Rutgers. Steve Longa on the tackle, but a pickup of 17 and a first down for Wisconsin.
Yeah, and they played a zone. And the big key there is Stabby has lots of time. And if you have time, you're a quarterback, every zone has holes in it. And so Fumagalli does a nice job of just sitting down in between the two defenders, and it's a first.
Play action. Stabby looking deep for Jazz. Peavy cannot pull it in. Almost a spectacular touchdown grab. Chaffee and Austin on the coverage, and they just missed.
Austin was sitting in the back. Now he has time. Now all of a sudden this is wide. Look at this. Peavy should have made that was a touchdown, and Peavy dropped it. He knows it. Austin tried to get in the way, couldn't do it. Instead, the ball just beat him up.
Frustration for a guy that this coaching staff really likes, Jazz Peavy. Ogunbowale with the carry, and he's down just shy of the 35-yard line. Our United States Marine Corps leader, Rutgers' Quentin Gause. Quentin majors in journalism and media studies. He's got a 3.28 GPA, named to the All Big Ten team, and nominated as a semifinalist for the Campbell Award. Quentin Gause.
And on top of that, that's a good football player.
Yeah, double-digit tackles the last 3 games.
Good instincts on top of it. He's going to need them right here on this 3rd and 6 or 7.
3rd down and 7. Stabby to the sideline, and it's incomplete. A rare mistiming between Stabby and Erickson.
When Erickson came out of the break and he was open, it just, you're right, they just mix up the timing. I really do like that they took a shot on that first down. That was a good call by Joe Rudolph, the offensive coordinator, and it should have been 6.
All right, so 4th down and 7, punting from the 36 of Rutgers. At least they're lined up to punt. And they will do so. Good punt. Dying inside the 5 and covered up at the 4-yard line. What a punt by Meyer. Downed after a 32-yard punt, and Rutgers pinned at their own 4-yard line. Doesn't take much to make a punter happy. Just put the ball inside the 5. He'll get a fist bump. No, nothing scarier than geography.
I disagree.
Oh, look, Batman's here. I'm not sure I want Tony Medici running to save me in the dark of night from the Batmobile.
Nice cowl.
Although he looks good in that mask.
Oh, that was a mask. Sorry, I'm sorry. Know that.
1st and 10 at the 4-yard line. Hicks with the carry. He's been the most successful of the Rutgers backs today, down at the 7-yard line. But really, Matt, this is a game for Rutgers that is very reminiscent of what they had last week at Ohio State. Opening drive last week, they marched down, had a field goal attempt, didn't connect. But after that, it was 8 straight drives for Rutgers that did not get past the Ohio State 40-yard line.
So, and what that means is adjustments. So what was the adjustment that was made? In this particular instance, it's not allowing them to get to the edge. You saw that early. They were able to get outside, and they moved the ball.
2nd down and 7. Hicks again with the carry, trying to plow forward, and he gets to the 9, leaving a 3rd down and 5. BTN has you covered all week long as we get you up to speed all things Big Ten and college football. First at 6 Eastern, join the conversation on BTN Live. Then we cover the entire football landscape on Big Ten football and beyond. Weeknights on BTN and BTN to go. So now a 3rd and 5, Matt, but you're on your own 9. How risky do you get here if you're Rutgers?
Not too risky, so I tighten my coverage up, and then you got to keep your eye on the back out of the backfield. They're showing this double-A gap inside, right up in here. See these guys? That's a concern for offensive lines. It forces things down tight and gives you a short corner.
On 3rd and 5, we've got a whistle and a stoppage. Looks like a timeout may have been taken first. The timeout has been utilized by Rutgers.
Timeout, Rutgers. Their first timeout.
So Kyle Flood wants to talk this 3rd and 5 over, trailing 17-3. Rutgers huddling up, trying to decide what they want to do, Matt Millen, on 3rd down and 5, back at their own 9-yard line.
It's Ben McDaniel, the offensive coordinator, talk with Laviano. You and I were just talking. One of the things that Laviano does well is he has very good movement. And so they're giving you that double-A gap pressure up front. I'd try to get him to the edge and let him use his feet to try to buy some time.
Kid no Leonte Carew today for Rutgers. Did not even suit up, as Lisa Byington told us earlier. Didn't even practice at all this week. 3rd down and 5 at the 9-yard line.
Spreading it out, making the defense show what it's going to give them. They're still showing that double-A inside, and they drop it out to zone.
Laviano in some trouble. Reversing his field. How about the escape by Laviano, and he throws it incomplete. About 3 times it looked like he was about to get sacked for the safety as Vince Beagle came flying into the backfield.
Yeah. Beagle came off the edge, and he should have. There should have been a sack. There's nobody blocked Beagle. And then Laviano does use those feet, but because they had dropped that underneath 5 under look, Beagle's not happy with himself because he had an opportunity for another sack.
There's Alex Erickson and a flag down. So before Erickson will get a chance to return this punt.
Ball start. Offense, number 87. Half the distance to the goal. It remains 4th down.
And a tough job for Joey Roth becomes tougher after the movement from Vance Matthews. Joey backs up any further. A, he'll be out of bounds, and B, he'll be in the lap of our crew back there. Erickson at the 38-yard line. Alex Erickson diving forward to the 28. Alex Erickson, a guy I know you think is one of the better receivers in the conference. We were hoping to have both Carew and Erickson today.
Yeah, but instead we didn't. But there's a guy from Michigan State, Burbridge, and he is having a great season. Deontay Carew, unfortunately, is not playing today. He's their move-the-chains guy and their big play guy. Ricky Jones, another one. Every time you start looking at him, he make a big play. Chris Godwin just kind of finding his legs with Hackenberg. And Erickson is Mr. Dependability. I mean, that guy, when you need a play, the ball's going to 86.
Another good start at the 28-yard line of Rutgers. Stavi to the air on first down. Pressure coming. Stavi hit and dropped. He had Ogunbowale in the area as he got rid of it. Quanzel Lambert was the guy providing the huge rush, but it'll go as an incompletion with Ogunbowale in the area, and it's second down.
Yeah, that's nice by Lambert. A great effort to be able to get there on that exit, but Stave had the wherewithal to be able to still force that incompletion and live for another down. That's good by Stave.
Corey Clement back in now for Wisconsin on second down and 10 at the 28-yard line. Toss play, Clement. Clement picking his way forward, showing some good patience, and he gets down to the 21-yard line. That's a smooth 7 yards for Corey Clement.
Yeah, and you said patience, and you're also seeing patience from Paul Chryst in how he's using them. He's picking and choosing. He's easing them back in. They know that he's going to be the guy, but you just don't want to drop a bomb on him right away. He's coming off of that sports hernia surgery. You let him ease into it, and so far so good.
5 carries, 26 yards, the touchdown, and now 3rd and 3. Toss play again to Clement, and Clement pops through a hole, and Clement's taken it to the house for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
It was just subtle what he did. It was slide, smooth, open, accelerate. And the acceleration you can't teach. You have it or you don't have it. Clement's got it.
Gaglianone on for the extra point. Capping Corey Clement's 2nd touchdown run of the day. Both have been virtually untouched from the initial line of scrimmage.
You're going to watch the slide go. There's the acceleration, and there's 6 points.
(24-3) Wisconsin with the lead. 3:30 remaining in this 2nd quarter. Later today, college football is on Fox and FS1 all day and night as the Pac-12 and Big 12 play on Fox. Coverage begins with USC taking on Cal at 3 Eastern, followed by Oklahoma at Kansas. Arizona, Washington, and Texas at Ohio State will wrap up the evening on Fox and FS1. Janarian Grant breaking free, and Janarian Grant with good speed to the edge. Grant with an excellent return across midfield, and it gives an opportunity for Rutgers with 3:18 to go in the half to get something done, trailing 24-3.
And they have to. They've got to get something here in this last 3 minutes. And it can't be just 3. They've got to be able to put 6 up on the board. Now, if they go back to what they did earlier, just in terms of power football, they'll probably have enough time to be able to get that part done. But Laviano is going to have to be better in the pass game.
Martin is the running back on first down. And Martin gets the carry. Martin to the edge, and he's upended at the 45-yard line by Darius Hillary. Nice tackle by Hillary. Wasn't biting on any of the moves Martin was trying to make.
Now, Hillary is shown to be a pretty solid tackler. And he maintains it outside. He knows what his responsibility is. He knows he has help inside, and he uses all that to his advantage. Cincinnati, Ohio guys turned in a pretty good year this year.
Stan Ira played at South Carolina, then went on to play in the league with the Vikings and the Bengals. Second down and 8 at the 44-yard line. Off play action. Laviano checks down short, and the catch is made for the first down over at the 34-yard line by Andre Patton. Coming up at halftime, Dave and the gang will get you caught up on a busy Big Ten Saturday. It's the Buffalo Wild Wings halftime report. So first down and 10 for Rutgers at the 34-yard line. Chris Laviano getting good field position after the excellent return by Janarian Grant.
And good protection.
From the 34-yard line on first down. Martin with the carry. And Martin slithers forward to the 30-yard line. That's a 4-yard pickup. Obasi on the stop. This is how Rutgers ran the ball initially in this game, getting 4 and 5 yards per carry and marching down the field where they ended up with that 3.
Now there's the difference right now. We're under 2 minutes. So first down will stop the clock. They're still good. And they still have a couple timeouts that they could use. But they still need to pick the pace up a little bit.
Now they're going to get the ball to start the second half. So this is an important drive to this ball game right now.
I'd be a little faster.
Second and 6. Martin again trying to get to the edge with a stiff arm, but he's not going to be able to do it. Pulled down on the play by Joe Ferguson.
And he closed it fast. I'd stop the clock right here. This, you know, what do we got? Third down here, third and short.
3rd and 5.
Yeah, I would have stopped the clock. I'm thinking I'm going to get my first down. I need more time on the back end. I want 6. I don't want 3.
Martin again, the lone running back for Rutgers on 3rd down and 5 as we slide under a minute to play in the first half. A lot of time used by the Scarlet Knights here. Martin with the carry again, and Martin's not going to get there.
They played for a field goal.
Vince Beagle got the stop, and there is the timeout taken by Rutgers with 49 seconds to go in the first half. Let's check in downstairs with Lisa Byington.
Kevin, you go up and down this roster for Rutgers, and they have a lot of influence from the Catholic League, some prep schools, some private leagues, and it comes from their head coach, Kyle Flood. So we dove into the archives and found St. Francis Prep. That's where Kyle Flood went to high school, won a city championship. He was part of the class of 1989. A lot of alums from this prep school. Vince Lombardi, Yankees skipper Joe Torre, another alum. How about our very own Jerry DiNardo, the class of 1970. He's going to love that. Maybe they'll talk about it at the half.
It almost looks like him.
You know, what's nice about that is I believe Jerry is wearing the exact same outfit today.
I think he is.
In our BTN studios.
I think you're right.
No need to update decades later. Kyle Flood has given up the bow tie, at least for right now. So 4th down and 5, and no field goal unit on the field.
I didn't get that.
So now they're going to go for it. Down 21.
So
4th and 5.
You're one-on-one on the top side. No safety help over here. And down below, you're forcing your defenders off.
Laviano, quick toss, dropped, incomplete. He was looking for Andre Patton, who couldn't pull it in. And even if he makes that catch, Matt, he's very close to that first down.
The defender coming right to his face. And the ball's coming out quick, and you have a defender coming downhill. That was Edwards. So you play this, you heard me mention inside, outside, high. So when there's 3 receivers in that bunch, you have to have somebody posted high, somebody on the inside, and somebody on the outside. And so you, if there are 2 receiver routes that go to the inside, that top guy is in trouble, and vice versa on the outside, the double outside route.
So now Wisconsin with a pair of timeouts in 44 seconds. They're going to see what they can do. On the rollout, Erickson with the catch, and Erickson gets out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Are you surprised to see Wisconsin make a go here with 39 seconds now to go?
Why wouldn't you? It doesn't. The weather really right now is not a factor. You haven't seen anything in terms of slippery field, handling of the ball, throwing the football. None of that's been a factor. They're handling all that. So yeah, I would continue to do exactly that. Throw the ball, try to get on the board, try to get 3 out of this.
Second down and a yard. Stavi with time looking for Fumagalli, and it's incomplete. 33 seconds left in the half. Third down and a yard now for Wisconsin. They still have 2 timeouts. We've seen Gaglianone hit from the opposite direction at a 50-yard clip today.
Yeah, it doesn't need anything here other than a first down to keep it going. Got 33 seconds. They're not lined up right. Run to the top side. Numbers aren't there.
On third down, Ingold with the carry, and Ingold barreling forward for the first down. And there's the timeout used by Wisconsin. They have 1 left. Quentin Gause on the tackle. We'll take a quick 30-second timeout. Back in just a moment. Gaglianone starting to warm up. Wisconsin moving into a light breeze. Now that breeze is more of a cross breeze. I know this because occasionally it whispers into our booth. And I asked to have the heat cranked up as a result. First and 10 at the 44-yard line after the Ingold carry. Stavi incomplete, looking for Ogunbowale along the sideline. So now 23 seconds to go. Still 1 timeout for the Badgers, up 24-3.
And if he's throwing first downs, if he's going past the chains, you can use the whole field. The clock stops with a first down. And so you're not limited having to try to get out of bounds. You can use the whole field.
That's the target 34-yard line if all things are perfect. Now, like we said, he's going into that wind. That's a light breeze, nothing significant. Second down and 10. Stavi floating it over the middle. Fumagalli with the catch, and they got the target and more all the way down to the Rutgers 25-yard line.
And they got to stop the clock, and they can clock this right here. That's a great throw by Stavi. Great throw.
And now they get everybody lined up. Clock has not started yet. The chains are not set. Now they're ready, and Stavi will clock it with 13 seconds to go.
Very, very well done. And that's a great throw by Stavi. Right where it has to be. Fumagalli ran a nice route, got on top of the linebacker in between the safeties, which is the weakness of that defense. It's a great throw.
And Wisconsin in this first half has now reached Rutgers territory on 6 of their 7 possessions. And Fumagalli gets him in there again.
Fumagalli has a nice block on the first touchdown and a big catch, erases both those offsides penalties. But who's keeping score?
Second and 10 at the 25. Stavi again. Ogunbowale. Nice move. Another one. Inside the 10, and he smartly gets down at the 9 because he saw that clock running out and no room in front. The timeout used by Paul Chryst in Wisconsin.
And that's why you did what you did on the front end. You could use the whole field, and that was outstanding quarterback play by Joel Stavi and good play calling from the sideline. Joe Rudolph and Paul Chryst. That's good football.
Well, it's hard to run a 2-minute drill better than what Wisconsin just did.
Well, there's a couple of moves there by Ogunbowale and great awareness, understanding the clock. Things are shortening down, nowhere to go, get down. That's good stuff.
For a guy who's not played a ton of running back, that was a real heady play to just drop down. He looked up, he saw the clock, went, uh-oh, let's get down so we are sure to get 3 points out of this.
So let's bring that Brazil kid in here again.
Gaglianone. From 27 yards. Good snap, good hold, good kick. 27-3 Wisconsin, and the Badgers cap a dominant first half at Camp Randall Stadium. Hard to argue with anything Paul Chryst's squad has done in half number 1 as they take a 27-3 lead to the locker room. Frightening look there.
You think Tom Hewitt at least shaved? Jeez.
I know, just terrible.
Same look.
27-3 Wisconsin as we start the third quarter. But beforehand, let's take a look at today's Kawasaki Mule Pro Series 2 halftime highlights. Any concern about Joel Stavi being able to take a hit was answered early.
Yeah, and the thing that you loved about him was he stood in there, knew he was going to take it, and still took it. Did a nice job. Lisa, what do you got?
When asked by Paul Chryst, when I asked Paul Chryst about the performance from Joel Stave here in the first half, I said, is that one of the better halves that you've seen him play? And he said, no, he missed a couple of throws, but then kind of threw me a smile as well. I also asked about the impact of Corey Clement and his return as well, and he said it was great. It's a huge spark for him, for our team as well. If this differential, the score differential, stays as is, expect to see Corey Clement in the third quarter, probably not the fourth, guys.
Yeah, no reason to if you have a guy like that who's just working himself back from injury and a big lead. No reason to really risk anything as we move on through this ball game. As you look at the first half statistics, Wisconsin dominating through the air and overall. How about that time of possession? Talk about a misleading statistic.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, the biggest thing is Wisconsin ran on them consistently, and you got Clement back. You got Clement back, and you don't want to give him too much, but you've seen enough, and you know he's going to be right where you want him to be for the stretch run. That's all good news for Paul Chryst team.
Yeah, a guy with his ability and fresh legs in the month of November, that's a pretty good gift to get when you're coming down the stretch.
You know, I got to tell you, I played a long time, and one of the things, when you get a guy and you look over there and you see a guy like Corey Clement and you look at his arms when they stick out the side, like what's that attached to? Because he's got some yokes, man. That guy's yoked up pretty good.
Wisconsin will kick off. The short kick by Russell. Goodwin trying to find a little running room. Breaks one tackle and is down at the 24-yard line. Sitchy got there first and made first contact with Justin Goodwin. So now if you're Rutgers and you're Chris Laviano walking back out there on the field to start this second half, what do you do to try to regain some of the confidence that you had on your scoring drive?
Yeah, just some consistency. It's got to be some consistency. It has to start up front. You can't start behind the chains. So eliminate all the penalties. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have to get a rhythm again in that run game. They were able to establish it on the edge. Wisconsin did a nice job of adjusting, and they have not been able to get to the edge since the beginning of the game.
Arcidiacono, the tight end, in motion on first down at the 24-yard line. Here's James, and James caught from behind. Sitchy came from the backside to help pull him down after a gain of maybe a half yard for Paul James.
Yeah, Sitchy is a nice little story because he was an outside guy, and he has good athleticism. He runs well. He sees things. They move him from the outside to the inside, so there's a little concern because it's a different game inside. From the outside, you only have to play one way. Inside, you have to see it two ways. So far, he's been seeing everything.
Dave Aranda told us yesterday his eyes are good. He's aggressive. He's confident. We've seen that aggressiveness today.
Yeah, he's playing a pretty good game.
2nd and 9 at the 25-yard line. Again, trying to find some room on the ground to run. Derek Tyndall leading the Badger charge to bring down Paul James.
Now let's talk about eyes when we start talking about linebackers. And I want you to watch what Sitchy's going to do. You can see him, and he's right up here. So his eyeballs, he's keying through here to the back. And so as he's reading it, he's just coming across, and boom, he's right in the middle of it. That's really well done. And I know that he's ready to play. This morning I talked to Captain America. She was dressed up like Captain America. Told me all about his sister, who plays also here at Wisconsin, but Sitchy's ready to go.
He showed it today. He repped it inside linebacker in 2013, but didn't play it, then redshirted in 14. Pressure coming, and a sack from Tanner McAvoy. He's got a pick. He's got a sack. And the punt team will come on for Rutgers as Wisconsin slams the door again.
Yeah, so Kev, this is what happens. So it's that double A gap thing I was telling you about. And so you're going to watch him. He's going to be coming down. But here's the key. These two inside guys, it causes guys to go down inside, and it shortens the corner, and McAvoy can take advantage of that and get the sack. You couple that with the fact that you had good tight coverage down the field, and there's nowhere to go with the ball.
Now Roth will punt. Erickson on the short punt. He'll just clear out of the way. A little Rutgers hop out of bounds at the 49-yard line. But again, Wisconsin with unbelievable field position. They have played the field position game to perfection today. And they're going to start with the short field at their own 49-yard line. Joel Stave making his way back out there again after the head injury last week knocked him out early. in the win over Illinois. Bart Houston came in, performed admirably.
I thought that was great news for this Wisconsin team. When Houston came in and played the way he did, like, hey, we're going to be all right down the road here.
Clement is the lone back. He'll get the carry on first down. Clement finds room to the 48, a 3-yard gain on the play. Steve Longo with the tackle.
You know, with Corey Clement getting him back, you have to use some good judgment here. You don't want to overwork him. You know he's only 5 weeks post-surgery, and you got to ease him into it. But this game has been good for confidence, and it's also good for Clement to knock the dust off.
On second down, Clement again. Picks his way down near the 44. And for more on Corey Clement, we check back in with Lisa Byington.
Kevin, you mentioned it earlier. This was an important game for him to get back. He's a New Jersey kid. He wanted to play against Rutgers. But a couple of different things for him in his preparation for this week that was different. Number one, he practiced every single day. Number two, he also survived some live tackling, which did not happen the last couple of weeks. They went at him hard. They went at him early in the week, and his confidence shot up when he was able to take a hit or two early in this week.
Well, they love to have him back. He wanted to be back, wanted his name and face on the ticket, wanted to be on the program, going against the in-state school. Stavy on third down to the sideline, and the pass caught by Reggie Love. At the 29-yard line, it'll be a first down.
Yeah, that's a nice throw and a nice job of managing the pocket there by Stavy. This is the best. We've had these guys 3 times. This is the best I've seen Stavy. He looks relaxed. He looks smooth. He doesn't look like he's being bothered in the pocket. There's pressure when he's coming. He's getting hit. The ball's where it's supposed to be. This is a nice job and nicely done by Love.
37th start for Joel Stavy. 27-9, the record. We showed you that earlier. 3rd most wins among all active FBS quarterbacks. Stavy with good protection over the middle for Erickson. Deflected, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Lewis on the deflection. Where is Quan Lewis going? He could have just stayed in that end zone. It'll be a touchback because his momentum took him into the end zone. They may give him progress back out to the 4, so this is not going to be a touchback.
I don't know about that. He was catching it and his momentum was taking him into the end zone. They'll talk about it.
Initially marked at the 3-yard line. So
that's a good throw.
Deflected, and see, I thought that momentum carried him into the end zone.
I agree with you. Yeah, Erickson, that was through his hands.
Certainly,
he doesn't know right there whether he should or shouldn't, so he decides to try to bring it out.
So as of now, they're going to mark it, and they're going to readjust the mark and put it back at the 2-yard line. So it's an interception, but Rutgers deep in their own end.
It's a good punt. Erickson should have caught the ball.
On first down. From the 2, Hicks the carry. Hicks trying to get outside. He won't get there. Why won't he get there? Because Joe Schobert was there. And once Joe Schobert lays a hand on you, you usually aren't getting free.
You know, it's really interesting if you juxtapose Schobert and Beagle, because both these guys, every time you talk to an opposing coach, they all say, we have to handle 58-47. And when you watch after a play is made, you see what kind of people are behind those masks. Beagle is a guy who's an excitable guy. Schobert is a guy who's just a grind it out guy. He's a serious, get to the point, I make my play, let's move on.
So 2nd and 10 at the 2-yard line. Fumbled snap! The ball loose on the field at the 4-yard line. Bounced around 2 or 3 times, and it's Wisconsin ball. Joe Schobert comes up with the loose ball, and it's 1st and goal Badgers.
Yeah, he got one jump up there, and he bumped his chest, and that's it. He had enough. And he gets back to the side. Very staid, doesn't get too excited about things. Ball's on the ground, and it's anybody's ball. Then it starts, because it's an oblong spheroid, it starts going all over the place. until Schobert can get his paws on it.
Yeah, it looked like it got kicked by one of those big offensive linemen in there as he was trying to drive forward on the play, and that did not help the process, at least for Rutgers. So Schobert with the ball. Badgers with a 1st and goal at the 4. Second Rutgers turnover. This one especially costly, it would appear. Alec Ingold, the running back. Ingold with the carry, powering for the goal line. Look at the drive, and he's down just shy of 6.
Alec Ingold is their power. He's a short yardage and goal line guy. Ingold was a quarterback in high school. He's also a linebacker, but he's a powerful kid. But here's what he needs to learn to do. He runs too high. Yeah, he needs to just take a page out of the Earl Campbell book and run behind your pads. Get your pad level down low.
On 2nd down, Ingold stood up and dropped.
Nice.
What a pop leveled by Longa as he met Ingold, and Longa won that battle.
Yeah, that was nice. That's a nice hit at the goal line. You gotta watch Longa. It's good physical football. I like that.
The best part is the ooh from the crowd. Yeah. 3rd down and goal. Now Clement is in with Ramish as the fullback. Clement the carry, looking for his 3rd touchdown of the day, and he's got it.
Corey Clement, he has just that little bit of smooth. You saw it on the 2nd touchdown. He showed it again here. It's really what it is runner's patience. Let it develop, and then boom, you smoothly get right into the gap where it should be. That is just, it looks easy. It's not that easy.
Gagliardoni on for the extra point. And the extra point is good. The turnover turns into 6 more for number 6, Corey Clement. 8 carries, but boy, has he made the most of those. He's got eyes for the end zone once more. 3 times today he's reached touchdowns. Corey Clement enjoying his Halloween very much. A 34-3 advantage. 3 of those touchdowns belong to Clement. Welcome back. New kicker for Wisconsin. It's P.J. Rosowski, who will kick off. And Janarian Grant in the end zone. It's a touchback, and Rosowski fired up as he runs down. The first touchback of the day. The nation's best hoops play on BTN. The season gets underway when Mello Trimble and the 3rd-ranked Maryland Terrapins take on Mount St. Mary's. Then Nigel Hayes and the 17th-ranked Badgers battle Western Illinois. Basketball on BTN returns November 13th on BTN and BTN to go. So now Chris Laviano and company come out. They lost last week 49-7 to Ohio State. This game shaping up very similar. They had a great opening drive in that game. They missed a field goal. And then the final 8, or the next 8 possessions, they couldn't get past the 40-yard line. Their last 6 drives here, a net of 18 yards. At the 25, first down from Martin, and Martin going nowhere. May have fallen forward in the arms of Kiefer for a yard to the 26-yard line. This Wisconsin team, they're forced to play the waiting game a little bit, Matt. They've got to wait for Iowa to trip up at some point. They lost to Iowa, so essentially 2 games behind the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes have 1 more game than do the Badgers the rest of the season, but they need some help now to get themselves really back in West contention.
I don't see a loss on Iowa's schedule. Maybe at the end with Nebraska, because that's always a good game.
2nd and 9 over the middle, and it's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end at the 40-yard line. Well, we mentioned those 2 teams that appear to be jockeying for position, and right now the position is in charge. The Iowa Hawkeyes at 3-0. They've got Maryland, then they're at Indiana, Minnesota, Purdue, and then at Nebraska to end. And Hawkeyes trying to go undefeated. Badgers need somebody to trip them up to have a shot in this Big Ten West.
Yeah, and if you look at what Wisconsin's done this year, the 2 losses they've had, one to an undefeated Iowa team and one to a 1-loss Alabama team. That's pretty impressive.
If you're going to lose, those are not bad games. 3rd and 9. Laviano in some trouble. Nobody open, and he'll throw it incomplete.
Yeah, right. See what right now, Rutgers has absolutely 0 playmakers. They've got none. All they have is a mobile quarterback who can throw to no one, and that's a tough spot to be in. When I'm talking playmakers, a guy who can a home run guy, one of those. They don't have that guy right now.
Yeah, Leonte Carew on the bench today, not playing after the ankle injury, and they miss him today. Roth on the punt again. Erickson back at the 35. Erickson backing up. Decent punt from Roth from the 31-yard line. Erickson looking for the sideline. Erickson will turn it upfield. And Erickson tiptoeing across midfield back into Rutgers territory. Another big play from Alex Erickson. And the Badgers, 34-3 leaders, get the ball back. Will Joel Stave be back on the field? Bart Houston was warming up a minute ago. We'll find out who's quarterbacking this Badger squad when we return. Our man Mark Garza spent a lot of time in the haunted house getting ready for this Rutgers-Wisconsin matchup on BTN. Side effects of that are yet to be known for Mark.
I could tell you the immediate effects. Is he's still afraid. He's still cowering from going through there.
34-3 Badgers. There's Joel Stave still out there. Houston was warming up on the sidelines, so we mentioned that going to break, but Joel Stave sticking around in this one. Ogunbowale with the carry. Met and driven back. Good tackle in the hole by Quan Lewis, the transfer from South Carolina. This Badger offense has done a lot of good things, but they've benefited from good field position. They've made some of their own. 9 of their 10 possessions have been in Rutgers territory. Just 2 of Rutgers' 9 in Wisconsin territory.
Not a good day today for Rutgers in the kicking game. That's just been kind of very average.
5th time they've started in Rutgers territory with this possession. Toss play. Ogunbowale not anywhere to go that time. In fact, he loses about 1.5 yards back across the 45-yard line. Rutgers with good pursuit. Longa and Gauze were there to bring down Ogunbowale. Yeah,
we'll be talking a lot about Longa and Gauze all day today. Longa, you saw the big hit on the goal line, but he's the 2nd leading tackler in the entire country in college football. And this guy's got a really good. He's got really good instincts. Got a nose for the football. He finds the ball, and when he gets there, it's usually with a pretty good impact.
3rd down and 11. Stave floats it on the right side. A little too tall for McAvoy, who took a little pop at the end of that play, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, he floated that one a little bit too much. He needed to put it on him a little bit. Now, you saw the defender come underneath, and then you saw the hit at the end. McAvoy's fine on that, but it's kind of he tried to just kind of loop it in there instead of maybe putting a little bit more on the line.
So the Rutgers defense gets the stop. Drew Meyer on for the 3rd punt of the day. Janarian Grant looking to provide a spark in the punt return game. Meyer dealing with that low snap. Fair catch called for. Grant backing up and makes it near the 9-yard line. Timeout on the field. 6:14 to play in the 3rd. All Wisconsin. Alongside Matt Millen with Lisa Byington on the field, I'm Kevin Kugler. 6:14 remaining in the 3rd. Wisconsin leading 34-3 as Rutgers starts from their own 9-yard line on 1st down. Laviano to throw over the middle. The pass deflected by Sitchi, and it's incomplete. Now this Badger defense doing its job once again. They've allowed 10 points or fewer in 5 straight home games. Not since 1985 have they stretched it to 6 straight home games, and they're certainly pacing in that direction today. And you know, Matt, just to build on that, they gave up 35 points in that first game to Alabama. Since that time, they've allowed 57 total points.
And that's with losing some key players. I think Dave Aranda and his defensive staff have done a great job.
And they do it again with the sack from Vince Beagle. 3rd time today that the Badgers have gotten to Chris Laviano. And it's 3rd down and long.
Yeah, this defense just has found a way. And you can see Beagle just working the edge. Now, when you rush the passer, you try to defeat half the man. And that's what he does. There's Dave Aranda, their defensive coordinator. Very thoughtful guy. Oh. He's one of those guys who's a thinker. He's always thinking about the next thing.
Listening to you two talk football is one of the highlights of our Friday meetings with these coaches. On 3rd and 13, Grant with the catch, trying to find running room, and again, swarming to the football are the Badgers. First one there was T.J. Edwards. Michael Caputo was there as well. It's 4th down, and the punt team will come on.
Michael Caputo, another New Jersey guy. Wisconsin has always recruited New Jersey exceptionally well. They'll always have a couple guys from Jersey, or like, where's that guy from? Oh, he's a New Jersey guy. How do they say no one out there in Wisconsin? But they've always done a nice job of doing that, and they continue to do so.
Now, this is one of those games that we've not expecting a fabulous finish to this one, with Wisconsin up 34-3. We've certainly seen some fantastic finishes in the conference this year. Jazz Peavy will clear away from that punt. Takes a good Rutgers roll, and he'll be down at the 43-yard line.
Oh, he fumbled the ball. Now he fumbled it in the air, and it's picked up by Michigan State, and he's going to score.
46-yarder into the wind, and he got it through the uprights.
Here's the kick. It's on the way. It's not long enough. It is good. Iowa wins.
Just a few of those fantastic finishes we've seen this year. That Iowa win over Pitt shaping up to be a pretty good win, as Pitt has gone on to a nice season. Quick toss to the 49-yard line. Alex Erickson driven back from there. And of course, we'll see Iowa in a couple of weeks. That primetime clash on BTN when they take on Minnesota. Saw this week that Kinnick Stadium officially sold out for that Iowa-Minnesota game. There's a wrestling duel in Kinnick Stadium that morning.
That's going to be, I think it's against Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State
that's
and Iowa.
That's going. I'm not missing that.
I know you'll be there.
Oh yeah, that Iowa team plays just like their wrestling team wrestles, right square in the middle of the mat.
2nd and 4. Clement, nice carry, breaks a tackle. Clement steps through a second tackle and is out of bounds at the 32-yard line. There's a flag down back at the 48. May negate an excellent run by Corey Clement.
Holding, offense, number 75, 10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
That's Micah Capoy, but even with that being negated by the hold, there's just something about Corey Clement, how smooth he is, and he never looks like he's going that fast.
Yeah, because he's got great runner's patience. Let things develop, and then when it's clear, now you hit the next level. That's what he does, just really effortlessly. You know, the future's bright for this Wisconsin program. They have a lot of young guys playing. The 3 freshmen on this offensive line. You have a lot of young guys playing defensively. You got a coach who knows his team and is knowing it better and better. And it's only going to get better for this Badger team.
2nd and 13 after the penalty. To the air, Ogunbowale with the catch, and he's back to midfield as we go back to Chicago. Another T-Mobile studio update.
Kevin, it's Halloween, a day when kids of all ages pretend to be something they're not, like Christian Hackenberg pretending to be a wide receiver. He gets a touchdown catch from Nick Scott as Penn State is now up 22-0, and for the first time in 3 times, they made the extra point, Kev.
Well, that's good progress being made. A made extra point. Hackenberg now a wide receiver. Cats and dogs living together. 3rd and 3 from midfield. Stavi to the air, and it's intercepted. Picked off and headed to the other end of the field. And taking it all the way in for the touchdown is Blesson Austin. The pick 6 for the true freshman who was out last week comes back today and gets on the board.
Well, it wasn't his primary, and really he threw that a little bit under, not pressure, but panic. He knew he wanted to go to the right, and then he came back and just kind of flicked it because he saw it. And Austin was the unintended receiver, but a big play by him results in 6.
True freshman who started the opener, Blesson Austin, out of Queens, New York, with the touchdown. And the extra point is good. 34-10. Rutgers on the board. Wisconsin 34, Rutgers 10 after the pick 6 from Blesson Austin. Celebrating on the sidelines. First career interception for the true freshman. Joel Stavi throwing the pick. You know, even with a big lead, that he's not excited about how that play turned out. Get a chance to come back out, do his thing after a short kickoff, fielded at the 24-yard line, and across the 30 on the return, Alec Ingold. And the offense of Wisconsin making its way back out on the field. Later tonight, the final drive brings you all the highlights from this game and the entire day of the Big Ten. The final drive tonight at 10 Eastern on BTN. 2:55 to go in the third, and Joel Stavi in Wisconsin back to work.
But more important, 2:55 to jump around.
Yes. Matt Millen's been warming up all day.
Oh, yeah, can't wait.
At the 32-yard line, first down. The give to the motion man, Love. Love trying to find some running room, and Reggie Love down near the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 on the play. Jarius Adams on the stop. You're seeing some guys on this offense for Wisconsin that maybe are getting a little more playing time at the wide receiver spot than have in weeks past. We saw a couple of snaps from DJ Gillens, the 3rd-string quarterback. There's Reggie Love, who gets the carry. All this because Rob Wheelwright went down last week and is out for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and Peavy's a guy who's also getting some reps, who they like also. So, yeah, it's needed.
There's Clement, breaks a tackle. Clement into the secondary. Corey Clement with a high step, and he's headed for Pater. One man to beat, and he caught him inside the 5. It was Anthony Chaffee who saved the touchdown, but Corey Clement exploding, and it's 1st and goal, Wisconsin.
And he wanted that 6. He just motioned to the sideline. I think he choked it down. I think right about here, he's like, okay. And Chaffee came in and got him from behind.
58-yard run, and you wonder if Corey Clement's not saying, boy, that's a long run there.
That's right.
1st and goal. The give to Ogunbowale, who slips into the end zone for the touchdown.
Corey Clement knocked the rust off today. He's still got a little bit more to go. I think when he's in 3 weeks from now, you're not going to catch him there.
Still not a bad day for Corey Clement.
Yeah, that's his 11th carry and 115-yard, 3 scores. That's a pretty good day.
Gaglianone on for the extra point. It is good. Pretty quick answer by an offense that's not thought of as a quick strike offense. But when you have a 58-yard run right in the middle of the possession, that helps things along very quickly. Ogunbowale with the touchdown, his 5th of the year and 1st of the day, and a 41-10 lead for the Badgers.
And so, you know, they lose Corey Clement at the beginning of the season. He gets his 8 carries down at Alabama. And then they got a couple guys hurt. So what's happened? Now, this iteration of Wisconsin and this offense right now is a better team. Now, they get Corey Clement back, and you see the patience. and you see the burst, and you can see the power at times. And all that is added back into a group that was inexperienced when they left, and now they have experience, and now they also have depth with Ogunbowale, who's got to be a better player.
Now there is our Duluth Trading hardest working player. 11 carries, 115 yards, 3 touchdowns. The 7th time in his career that he's reached the century mark. Yeah, I'd say they're pretty happy to have him back.
Yeah, I mean, now you have your starter back. Ogunbowale has turned into a good back. I mean, all the question marks are erased from him, and he has taken his game in the last 5 weeks to another level. That's a good player.
Wazowski will kick off. Janarian Grant, a yard deep, hesitates and brings it out. Hesitation usually isn't a good thing with flags all over the field, and it isn't here for Rutgers. That split second of hesitation cost Grant a little momentum, and then all kinds of laundry on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So 41-10 Wisconsin, 1:37 to go in the third, and Paul Christ's defense now making its way back out on the field. What a defense it has been. They have not allowed an opening drive touchdown in 10 straight games. We told you about the points. They are 5-1 this year when they hold their opponents under 20. The only loss in that streak was that loss that's keeping them from the top spot in the Big Ten West, the Iowa Hawkeyes. So now from the 5-yard line, Rutgers down 41-10. The counter for Hicks. Hicks trying to turn the corner and down in the arms of Tanner McAvoy near the 8-yard line.
What a job that Paul Chryst has done in his first year here. And, you know, there's always a learning curve whenever you get a first-year coach. It doesn't matter who you are, and it doesn't matter if you've been here before. You still have to learn this year's team. They still have to learn you. And, boy, they've come a long way in a short amount of time. What impresses me so much about Paul Chryst is how he wants to know his team as people, because he knows that that's the type of player that they are.
Laviano with the straight drop, pressure coming. Laviano's going to have to scramble. The ball pops out. They're going to say he was down. Down at the 11-yard line. Jack Sitchie caught up with him there. The ball came out, but the officials immediately rule he was down.
There's the blitz. You could see Sitchie, he followed him all the way around. And he's down with that knee. That's a good call. Sitchie came on a blitz from the front side, chased him all the way around. And he had a good game here today.
He has.
Sitchie's had a very good and productive game.
How about this linebacking core? You've got Chris Orr. He's playing well. He goes down. Here comes Sitchie. T.J. Edwards has played well. Of course, you got Beagle and Schobert, the anchors. To the air again, and it's incomplete. And that'll bring up a 4th down intended for Janarian Grant. No matter who Dave Aranda seems to slip into that linebacking core, he's had some good success from these guys. And we have reached the end of the 3rd quarter in Wisconsin.
I'm loosening up.
Don't go anywhere. Jump Around is coming. A Halloween edition of Jump Around after the break. It is time. It's one of the best traditions in college football. Jump Around in Madison.
shot.
Now, you know, it's a fun college football tradition when everybody gets involved. Alongside Matt Millen with Lisa Byington on the field, I'm Kevin Kugler. Wisconsin with a 41-10 lead over Rutgers from Camp Randall Stadium in Madison. It started off a very rainy and gray day. It's still gray, it's still chilly, it's still windy, and Rutgers to punt it away. Jazz Peavy back deep.
Bad kick.
It's a good roll, though, for Rutgers. A very good roll. Inside the 35 and down at the 32-yard line. Now, we've talked all year long with Wisconsin and an injury situation. This is what the lineup was supposed to be in the preseason, projected as the starters at each position. That looks like a pretty good squad, some experience up front, some young guys in there. Here's what it is today. Those are the guys who are left. Now, there are players playing at center, right guard, tight end, and wide receiver, but they've lost a lot. And Corey Clement just came back today.
Yeah, this right here is just a half a guy. So he's just showing up.
And yet they're closing in on a 7-2 record at 4-1 in the league. Not bad. Ogunbowale out to the 35-yard
So
line.
I attribute all that to Paul Chryst. I think he's handled this beautifully. He doesn't, and you know, his team is starting to take on what your coach is. And so it doesn't get too high, it doesn't get too low. It's matter of fact. That is the most real coach you'll ever be around. He just tells you exactly the way it is. I really appreciate him.
Second down at 7 at the 35-yard line. Ogunbowale again as we check into Chicago with another T-Mobile studio update.
Kevin, Purdue entered this game 1-6, but they just don't look like it. This is David Blau to D'Angelo Yancey, breaking the tackle and going 83 yards for the score, Purdue's longest play of the year. And on the next play after the kickoff, they got an interception in Nebraska's red zone. They're up 19 and perhaps about to score again.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Wow.
Thank you, my call. Things have been a little bleak in the Cornhusker State this year. Could make it a little bleaker. 3rd and 3, and Erickson again with a great grab and able to hang on through the attempt by Andre Hunt to strip it out of his hands. First down at the Rutgers 40.
That's good coverage by Hunt. Erickson just goes and gets the ball. So, you know, that last one that they had the pick on, Erickson had a chance for that catch. This one right on top, and coverage is there, but Erickson keeps coming through.
Erickson now 10th in Badger history in receptions. Moving up the list. Still several games to play. First down and 10 at the 40-yard line. And Ingold, maybe a yard and a half. Quan Lewis there to help drive him back.
Alec Ingold's a powerful kid. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. He's got to learn to get his pad level down. You can't run straight up and down. That's a big old target coming through.
So you run with your pad level down, you bend at the waist a little bit more?
Yeah, and knees. He can do it. Just run behind your pads. Show them nothing but the tops of your pads.
On 2nd and 9, Ogunbowale trying to get to the edge, and he's down at the 37. Isaiah Wharton on the tackle.
One thing that has impressed me a lot about Joel Stave is he is not afraid to throw in all the mix inside. He likes his tight ends down inside. He likes Erickson, his receivers down inside. He's not afraid to go in there. Usually guys don't like that because, you know, your backers are dropping in there, or, you know, it's just a lot of things going on in the middle of the field. Most guys like to make the throws to the outside, but he's not afraid to go to the middle of the field at all.
Yeah, we've seen that time and time again today. And he's got a couple of guys over that middle who are pretty good catching passes. Stave to the air. There's one of those guys, and Alex Erickson, who spins forward to get the first at the 27. Blesson Austin with the tackle, and that'll move the chains. Another first down for Wisconsin. Now the Badgers are in run clock mode with a 41-10 lead, 11:22 to go in the fourth. Erickson over the 100-yard mark with that catch, second time this year and the fifth time in his career he's topped the century mark. He had 113 earlier this year against Nebraska. Toss play, Ingold. And Ingold down at the 29, a loss of 2 as we check in once more with Lisa Byington.
Matt, you mentioned about Alec Ingold earlier. He's a single wing quarterback in high school, and the coaching staff recruited him when they were at Pittsburgh, so they were familiar with his athleticism. A 2,000-yard rusher there. On top of that, a state champion wrestler, hit 440 in baseball. But when I talked to running backs coach John Settle, he said Ingold learned the entire offense in a week. That's when he made the position change from linebacker to running back. And he said that's quicker than anyone has learned it whom he has coached. That includes P.J. Hill, Monte Ball, and James White.
Wow. Pretty good list of names there as McAvoy takes the snap for the first time today, and Tanner McAvoy to the 20-yard line. Now, each time we've seen over the last few weeks McAvoy take that snap from the so-called Wildcat, he has just run the football, but we know he can throw it, and so do opposing defenses.
Yeah, but we're not going to see that today.
No.
I would be shocked. But, you know, to get back with, piggyback off what Lisa said, and so learning the offense, just so you understand that, it's not necessarily the plays you run, it's all your protections and all the things you have to do in the pass game, and he had it all down.
There's McAvoy breaking free, and McAvoy into the end zone for 6.
Turn out the lights. It's been long over.
Dandy Don has nothing to fear.
That's for sure.
From Magnificent Mac. Gaglianone on for the extra point. Meyer the holder. 47-10 Wisconsin. And Gaglianone adds one more. 48-10 Wisconsin, feeling awfully good on the Badger sideline. (48-10), and the band plays on with 9:47 to go in the fourth quarter here in Madison, Wisconsin. Kevin Kugler, Matt Millen, Lisa Byington back with you. Rough day for the folks from Piscataway as Janarian Grant fields it at the 9-yard line. Grant, with a flag down again, is down near the 25-yard line. Rutgers offense in the second half. 4 punts, 1 lost fumble. Their deepest penetration, their own 26-yard line.
Holding, receiving team number 81. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Matt, there's been a lot of bright spots today for the Wisconsin Badgers. Tanner McAvoy is one of them.
Yeah, Tanner McAvoy shows you exactly what an athlete is all about. He has the range to be able to get the pick. He's a blitzer and comes on the outside. And oh, by the way, if you ask him to run the football on the offensive side of the ball, he can do that too. And he does them all with excellence. It's a big day here for Tanner McAvoy, and he's done it on both sides of the ball.
Sack to go with that mix as well. And a new quarterback on for Rutgers. Second straight week that Hayden Rettig has checked in the fourth quarter of a blowout. And the pass deflected away, looking for Robert Martin. Rettig saw his first action since game 1 a week ago. The transfer from LSU. 67% completion percentage in very limited time. 182 yards and a pair of touchdowns.
But he's got a big arm on him. Doesn't have quite the mobility that Laviano has, but he can throw the football.
Second down and 10 at the 10. Rettig showing off that big arm, and the pass is incomplete. Looking for Carlton Agadosi down that far sideline.
And again, you know, I don't want to be disparaging towards this team at all. They don't have right now. They just don't have that playmaker. It's not on the roster. If it is, it hasn't shown. He hasn't shown up yet.
He's on the roster, but he's not on the field today with Leonte Carrou, who has been out all day with an ankle injury. Kyle Flood's squad has missed him, and I'm not saying that Leonte Carrou makes up a 38-point deficit.
No,
but he does help. third down. Redding hit as he got rid of that one, looking for Agudosi again, and the pass incomplete. It was T.J. Watt who provided the pass rush, and it's fourth down.
Hillary had good coverage there anyway. That was going to have to be a pinpoint throw, and with the pressure on him, that wasn't going to happen.
9:20 to go, and Rutgers will punt it away again. Briscoe to punt. Backing up, good punt. Peavy from the 40-yard line. Jazz Peavy slipping through the first man and down at the 49 with 9 minutes and 6 seconds to play in this one. 48-10, Badgers in control. Happy Halloween from all of us on the Big Ten Network. A happy Halloween for the folks in Badger gear or in Badger costumes or just here.
Was that guy supposed to be a hot dog?
Watching Wisconsin football's become a habit for those.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob's always in attendance. Bart Houston's in the game now. Backup quarterback for the Badgers. Came on last week, had a fine game. He turns it hands to Ogunbowale, who loses a yard back to the 48-yard line. And Bart Houston, what a job he did last week. Joel Stave goes down late first quarter. Bart Houston last week, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 22 for 33 day.
And more importantly, a learning experience for him and for the staff to see, oh, hey, this kid's going to be okay, because he showed some stuff out there. Has a nice arm. He has mobility. He sees the field pretty well. I liked what I saw last week.
2nd and 11. Ogunbowale fights through a tackle as we go downstairs to Lisa Byington.
Paul Chryst also telling us that one of the reasons why Bart Houston was so successful last week against Illinois, it's because he was himself. And Chryst said he actually had to talk to him early in the season and said you can't approach a role as a backup. You have to approach it as a starter. And so he switched his mindset. And Chryst believes that that is also one of the reasons why he succeeded last week.
Well, when you've got a guy, Lisa, that's a former quarterback as your head coach, that really gives you that extra knowledge that guy has from playing the position to impart upon you as a quarterback.
Well, the point that he made to him was a really important and smart point. There's a difference. There's a difference between trying to prepare as a backup, like, yeah, I might get in, you never know, as opposed to, hey, this is mine. I want reps. I'm going to study this stuff like every call is mine. It also involves you as the game unfolds when you're not playing to know that, look, what do I do in this situation? What are my protections here? What am I seeing? This guy's dropping down. And the good ones, they have great communication with the starting quarterback, so they're always on the same page throughout the game.
Pressure coming, but Meyer gets rid of it. Janarian Grant calling for the fair catch, and Grant makes it just around the 10-yard line. 7:35 to play in this one. Rutgers with the ball, down 38. 7:35 remaining in the fourth quarter. Wisconsin 48, Rutgers 10. Corey Clement marked his return today with a 100-yard day, 115 yards and 3 touchdowns in his first game since the opener against Alabama to help pace Wisconsin in this one. Rettig on in relief, in some trouble. Rettig finds James, and instead of a safety, picks up a couple to the 12-yard line. Ryan Conley on the stop. And let's take a look at today's Dr. Pepper play of the game, and it's Joel Stave to Alex Erickson. Alec Erickson with 6 catches, 103 yards, and this touchdown. Our one-of-a-kind Dr. Pepper play of the game. Alex Erickson, 6 catches, 103 yards, and that score. Second and 8 for James, and James dropped by Conley. Another one of those freshman linebackers. That's at the 16-yard line. A pickup of 4 on the play. Brings up 3rd and medium. Ryan Conley out of Eden Prairie, Minnesota, in there to make that stop. And this Wisconsin squad, one thing Dave Aranda's defense seems to do, and it was something Rutgers coaches were very concerned about when we talked with them earlier in the week, they said he always seems to get the players that he needs near the ball on every single play.
Yeah, and that's attributable to good coaching, but also good instincts by the players.
2 for 13 today on 3rd down is Rutgers. Reddick to the air, and it's incomplete. Looking for Matt Flanagan, the tight end, and it's 4th down. The punt team will come on once more for Rutgers.
This is a Morton Salt game. When it rains, it pours. Man, it's just they haven't been able to do anything right. I mean, I don't know what the numbers look like. We looked at them just a little while ago, but since that field goal, they've had, I mean, hardly any yardage whatsoever.
Well, they had maybe 6 yards there. And
so
I believe
maybe
that's
40 yards.
34 yards, I believe. 36 yards since the opening drive of the game.
Wow.
Punt time again. Jazz Peavy will clear out from that one. And it'll roll out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Next Saturday, it's another conference matchup as the Boilermakers host dynamic playmaker Geronimo Allison and Illinois. Coverage starts at noon Eastern next Saturday, presented by the United States Marine Corps on BTN and BTN to go. There are 3 games next week on BTN. That's the one we know for sure. Illinois-Purdue. There will be 2 others that will be announced late today or tomorrow. It'll be on BTN next Saturday. From the 38-yard line on 1st down.
Oh, nice hit.
Big hit. Now those Wisconsin touchdown drives, look at the amount of time with the ball. Time of possession favored Rutgers in a big way at halftime. Not going to be a big deal, though, because they've just continued to punch it in time after time with short times of possession. Pretty impressive.
Now this game kind of started to take shape in the middle of the 2nd quarter, and then it just went that way. And Rutgers could not get their offense on track. Defensively, when they needed a big stop, they couldn't get it, and really that's the difference in the game.
Serge Trezzi on the carry there for Wisconsin. And now 3rd down and 7. Derek Strauss in for Trezzi. On 3rd down, Houston back to the air, a little too tall for Jordan Frederick. And it's incomplete, 4th down, and Wisconsin will punt. So now Wisconsin, after this game, they've got the trip to Maryland next weekend, then a bye, then Northwestern at home, and then on the road at Minnesota to close the season. All 3 of those very winnable games for this Badger squad, Matt. So you're looking at a potential 10-2 record,
right,
and maybe just the 1 loss to Iowa, but that may be the loss that keeps them out of the Big Ten championship game because the Hawkeyes are still undefeated. And essentially, they'd need Iowa to lose twice in order to, in a head-to-head situation, best the Hawkeyes in the standings. There's that remaining schedule. 2 trips out of Madison and 1 game against Northwestern at home after the bye week. And Paul Chryst will be thrilled to have that bye week before Northwestern, a chance to heal his team up a little bit more down the stretch.
Yeah, get a little healthy. But I don't know what the Wisconsin faithful were expecting this season, but I do believe that Paul Chryst exceeded all the expectations. I think this is a better football team than people had expected, and I think it's trending, and I think their future's bright for Wisconsin.
Looking for running room. Hicks finds some on the outside, and reminiscent of the opening drive when Hicks was able to find some running room. Sojourn Shelton knocks him out after a gain of 22. Stay tuned for the State Farm postgame report. Dave and the gang will get you caught up to a busy day in the Big Ten. That's coming up in our State Farm postgame.
Well, it was reminiscent of that first drive, and what they were able to do is get the edge. Remember, we talked about that at the start. They have the backups in now, and And so Dooley is the outside backer, and he needs to hold that edge. He can't let him get outside of him. There's a reason why he's there.
This is the furthest penetration of the second half for Rutgers. Their own 44-yard line. And it's their first down of the second half. Rettig off play action. Airing it deep, looking for Agudosi over the middle. He's got it. And Agudosi down at the 6-yard line of Wisconsin, 1st and goal. Derek Tyndall on the coverage, but Rettig hooks up with Agudosi for 49 yards. And Rutgers with a 1st and goal.
Tyndall wasn't too happy with his safety. Safety should be playing in the middle of the field right there. That's number 21. It's Austin Farrar, Arrington Farrar. And Farrar was in great position, and he just misplayed the ball. He came in too tight, and the ball went over his head. That should not happen. He had the right read, but the worst position, or bad position, I should say.
1st down and goal. Hicks again, and Hicks is going to be hit and dropped by Watt. T.J. Watt fought through a block and was able to make that tackle as he did so.
That's a good play by Watt. You're exactly right, because they tried to block him. He just got rid of the block and made the play.
Let's go to the other side of this coin. Rutgers, what do you do now if you're Kyle Flood, where you've got a month of November that sees you at Michigan, home for Nebraska, who is struggling, at Army, and then wrapping up with Maryland?
So you got to win 2 of those. Or you could win 3 of those.
3 get you to a bowl.
So there's something to fight for there. And plus, I think the staff is fighting for their jobs, to be honest with you.
Here's Rettig in some trouble, huffing and puffing to the sidelines, and a little nudge out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Keelan Brookins with the stop. And for Rutgers, that stretch in November, that is not an easy stretch. That Michigan trip is tough. Then you've got Nebraska. Playing Army is never an easy thing on a short week to turn it around. And then you have Maryland.
Yeah, so there's some winnable games in there. And you have to. I mean, look, all he can do is go back, get back to fundamentals. You know what you have. Hopefully Carew can come back and change the balance, shift the balance a little bit. It gives you a playmaker that you desperately need.
Third and goal at the 13. Rettig in trouble, and down he goes. Stumbling as he rolled away from the rush. Watt was there at the end of the play along with Alec James, but the turf sack puts him back at the 23-yard line. They're going to kick a field goal.
Yeah, he tries to roll out, and that 23-yard line just reaches up and grabs him.
So now, with 1:30 to go, Rutgers will line up for a 41-yard field goal try. Snap was a little offline. Federico's kick is going to be wide left. And Wisconsin still has a chance to hold 6 straight foes to 10 points or less at home, as the field goal is wide to the left. And a frustrating day for Rutgers with a little cherry on top. Rutgers has been outscored 97-17 in its last 2 games against Ohio State and Wisconsin. And now Wisconsin can run this one out with 1:15 to go. Serge Trezzi is the running back. Trezzi the carry. Trezzi trying to break some tackles and down at the 25-yard line.
You know, I don't know why they just don't take a knee right here. Just take a knee.
Rutgers is not going to use his 3 timeouts.
No, just get this thing over with.
Well, and you don't want to. I mean, I know Serge Trezzi is probably not a guy who factors in right away in what your plans are at Wisconsin, but you don't want to see an injured guy in a situation like this. Just take a knee and live to fight another day. Trezzi again. Down at the 29-yard line. Eric Margolis on the tackle. They do not have to snap it again, and they're not going to. And that is the end of a frightful Halloween in Madison, Wisconsin for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. When it came down to tricks or treats, the treats were all for the Badgers in this one. 48-10, Wisconsin dominating Rutgers here in Camp Randall. What a performance today by the Badgers.
And you're getting healthier. Corey Clement coming back. That means you got somebody you can depend on all day long.
Let's check in downstairs with Lisa Byington.
We have been waiting for Corey Clement's return. What did you see in that return today?
Well, obviously he gave us a big lift. You know, had some runs that we haven't been getting for a while, and it was good to get him going, and I think he uplifted the team some.
What specifically about his runs does he add that you had been missing?
I thought he showed really good patience, and then the ability to make some guys miss, and you know, had probably the longest run of the year, so it was good.
What does this team continue to prove to you?
Yeah, I mean, today, you know, they had a great week of preparation, and they played the game, and it wasn't perfect, but they made some plays. We won, you know, and I like how they're in the moment, and just each week keep playing, and we got another challenge next week. We'll enjoy this one tonight, and they're a good group to be around, I'll tell you that much.
How do you and this coaching staff continue to get this team to play in that moment?
I think these guys love the game, love playing, and you focus on that and focus on individual growth. All that part's kind of easy, you know, and we get to do it together. It's a pretty good thing.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, thanks.
Corey Clement in 2 games against Rutgers from his home state, 246 yards and 5 TDs. Wisconsin rolls today.